つけてるつもりで得意になって大事なことは全部置き去りにしちゃって自分で自分を苦しめている囚人そんな僕にさよならさトランスフォーメーション闇が怖くてどうするあいつが怖くてどうする足踏みしてるだけじゃ進まない男なら誰かのために強くなれ歯を食いしばって思い切り守り抜け転んでもいいよまた立ち上がればいいただそれだけできれば英雄さ、oh yeah! 今日もなんだかやる気が起きないなんて甘え尽くしの自分が本当は嫌いでとりあえずは表で深呼吸更新そんじゃ今からしましょうかトランスフォーメーション弱気になってどうする明日の君はどうする黙って下向いてちゃ聞こえない男なら誰かのために強くなれぶつかり合って精一杯やってみろ泣いてもいいよまた笑えればいいただそれだけできれば英雄さ、女もそうさ見てるだけじゃ始まらないこれが正しいって言える勇気があればいいだがそれだけできれば英雄さ男なら誰かのために強くなれ歯を食いしばって思い切り守り抜け転んでもいいよまた立ち上がればいいそれだけできれば英雄さ
Hello, we're here. We're gonna draw some pictures and shit. Are you guys ready to draw some pictures and shit? Is anybody here? Let me see. Wow, there's a couple people here. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, I also have hello. So we're gonna have YouTube video up too. It's just just because I don't know, I like wavy web surf. Anyway, yeah, let's see. Let me get everything particularly set up right now. Let's see, I don't need this. I can just move this over here. That's fine. What about this? Is this? Ba. There we go. It's fine. We're not gonna try to be very showmanship today. We're just gonna fuck around. Why? No, did it crash? No, it didn't crash. It's fine. Don't crash. Don't crash on me. Oh yeah, we got the Hachimitsu cam. Just so you know, you can buy that. you can buy it. The links down. You scroll down one. You take your scroll wheel and you go click. You go down one, and then there's the picture of the plush, and you click on that, and you can buy it. You can, you can get one of these. Oh fuck! She fell over. Defeated. There we go. Yeah, there she is. You can get one of those if you want. Anyway, alright, I should probably get started. We got Wavy Web Surf. The internet's dumbest fast food crimes.
The internet is rife with stories of fast food controversy, be it reports of contaminated meals being served to customers, vile instances of employee misconduct, or videos showcasing psychotic customer meltdowns. There's something about fast food restaurants. It's like the most mind-boggling scenarios play out at these places. And the online world just can't seem to get enough of these tales. In this installment of Fast Food Disasters, we'll be looking at some of the most infamous fast food fiascos out there, and I couldn't think of a better place to start than the Wendy's gator throwing incident. Many of you watching may be familiar with a mean-spirited prank that's often pulled on hapless fast food workers. That prank being fire in the hole. The act involves a delinquent fast food customer ordering a large soft drink at a drive-thru window only to then hurl the drink back at the restaurant worker,
wow, fucked up.
drenching the poor soul in the process. Sadly, fire in the hole has become a time-tested prank, popular for multiple generations of young people at this point. And unsurprisingly, dozens have actually been criminally prosecuted for performing this stunt. But of the many disturbing examples of fire in the hole being performed, no instance tops the time a live alligator was involved. The story begins in October of 2015 with 23-year-old Florida man Joshua James. Joshua James had been described as somewhat of an outdoorsman, a Florida redneck with a penchant for animal wrestling. Friends of the man say that Joshua recreationally caught snakes, lizards, and most importantly to this story, alligators. On one October day, Josh and a small group of associates managed to wrangle a gator, a young one approximately 3.5 feet in length. Initially aggressive and thrashing, the wild reptile would eventually become docile, likely exhausted from its fight with the Florida man. With a live gator now in their possession, the boys begin to ask themselves, what next? Fried gator, a new pet? Release the poor thing? None of the above.
The only
James
real
and his
question when
friends,
catching a
likely
gator.
inspired by some of the viral fire in the hole videos on social media at the time, decided they'd put their own Florida spin on the already dangerous prank. They decided instead of throwing soda at a fast food employee, they would throw their live alligator into a drive-thru window. The story goes that Joshua and one of his gator wrangling accomplices would later pull up to the Wendy's drive-thru restaurant located in Royal Palm Beach, Florida. The men ordered a drink and then drove up to the drive-thru window to meet the unfortunate soul on the receiving end of their devious stunt. During the drive-thru interaction, the worker turned their back to the group, and seeing their opportunity, Josh pulled the gator from the back seat of his truck and hurled the tormented reptile through the drive-thru window. The startled beast hissed as it landed inside Wendy's, sending workers into
that's good. That screenshot of the blurry gator.
By the presence of the alligator, she jumped out of the drive-thru window as Josh sped away in his truck. The gator-tossing gang likely feeling that they
his head's really long.
Greatest act of fire in the hole in history.
I also like the description of tormented reptile.
Would come with consequences, as not only did Josh and his friends harm the gator by throwing it, they petrified everybody inside of the Wendy's restaurant. Wendy's management would notify authorities over the gator inside of their facility. It was later captured and released back into the wild by Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation officers. They traced the soft drink purchased at the time of the gator throwing back to Joshua James. After a thorough investigation, the man was arrested several months later. He was taken into custody where he would confess to being the Wendy's gator thrower. As a result of his alligator antics, Joshua was facing some pretty serious charges. The most remarkable of these charges being aggravated assault with a deadly weapon with the intent to do less than
Deadly
murder,
weapon.
and
Gator's a deadly
unlawful
weapon.
possession of a gator. After being arrested and charged, the man posted bail and was released from jail. Shortly after getting out, Joshua was approached by a group of journalists and he agreed to do an ad hoc interview with them. And the man was rather candid in the interview, saying that he didn't mean any harm by his stunt, he just wanted to do something funny. And he also claims that he had a friend that worked at the Wendy's, so he thought it wouldn't be that big of a deal if he threw the gator in there. Well, you were wrong about that, pal.
So the person you threw it at was your friend or no?
No, it was a different person, but I'm sure he's working there at the time and got a chance to see it. So.
Do you have anything to say to the people at Wendy's?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry for what I did. I mean, just being stupid, not thinking, and obviously I found out what the consequences were, and I gotta pay for them, so.
And so you never meant to harm anybody, you're saying?
No, absolutely not. I never meant for anybody to get hurt or anything like that. It was a good laugh kind of thing, yeah.
In May of 2016, Joshua would plead guilty to his charges, which had been slightly softened. These charges included misdemeanor assault and unlawful possession of a gator. The man was given 12 months of probation and compelled to complete 75 hours of community service, and he had to pay a fine and court costs of $1,200. A Florida wildlife worker commented on the judge's sentencing. He may have thought this was something funny he was doing, but I've been
Whoa,
bitten
gator
by
up on me.
alligators. I've
Yeah.
seen what alligators can do, and I think that's probably something the judge took a look at. The gator tosser's disregard
thank
for
you for the
public safety landed him
Follow.
a
I think
criminal
that's the
record.
follow sound.
Our next fast food disaster story involves another highly ignorant man. A man so dumb that he posted a video of himself committing a fast food related crime onto YouTube. When you're surfing the web, it's often common to see articles and videos showcasing secret menu items and menu hacks. One fast food hack out there is actually illegal to participate in, which brings us to the topic of the Del Taco scammer. Meet Robert Echeverria. In 2008, Robert was featured in a rough shot video published to YouTube titled How to Scam Del Taco. This infamous video showcased Robert making a call to his local Del Taco restaurant wherein he attempts to trick the restaurant workers into giving him free food under the pretense that they had screwed up a previous order he had made, which he never actually made an order. Robert and his affiliates shot this video in the parking lot of the very Del Taco that they would wind up scamming. The act took place in Rialto, California, about 50 miles east of Los Angeles, and the man was aided by two friends, 18-year-old Ian Roman and 18-year-old Brian Fawcett. Rob's deceptive phone call ruse involved him telling a story where he claims that he sent his two sons to pick up Del Taco and that the restaurant had completely screwed up the order and put sour cream on everything. He claims that after getting this screwed up order, he called Del Taco corporate over the matter and was given the green light to get a free meal.
How you doing, Rosie? My name's Robert Kennedy. I frequent your establishment about 2 to 3 times a week. And I'm calling about an incident that happened earlier. I talked to the manager. They were getting off at the time. They told me to call in when I got home from work. Basically what happened was I sent my son Isaiah and my son Cody in for not a substantial amount of food, but for a good amount of food. And when the food came back, I told them to take it back. They had no receipt from the order, and the order contained sour cream, and I don't eat sour cream. And at the same time, our sodas were wrong. And when I called, I actually called corporate. Corporate told me to call the manager and that they will fix it. So that's what I'm basically calling for.
It seems like Rob has rehearsed this story. You gotta wonder how many times he's pulled this stunt. Now, when it had become clear that the restaurant workers were buying his tall tale, he would send Ian and Brian inside to pick up their free meal. Under the guise of them being his sons, the two 18-year-olds would go in and pick up the fraudulent spread. The Del Taco evac was caught on camera by Rob's gang of scammers. Rob's minions would then return to his vehicle with a bag filled to the brim of Del Taco. The Tex-Mex kingpin could be seen braggadociously munching his spoils as the video
You know what's stupid?
The Del Taco scam
You know what's stupid about that? Del Taco is like also stupid cheap. Like, like okay.
was a complete success. Rob's Del Taco scam tutorial video was uploaded to YouTube on February 22nd of 2008 to the Nickel and Dime YouTube channel. Opinions from the public would quickly flood into its comment section, with many praising Rob for his elaborate scheme while others warned him of potential Del Taco retribution. This guy is a good con man. The simple details he adds really makes it more believable. The son's name, saying he has salmonella, etc. That seems like quite a lot of effort to go through to avoid paying even a few bucks for a few tacos. Using Del Taco's kindness against them, this is what makes the world a colder and less kind place. I hope this guy pays the maximum price under the law for this. He's a true jerk. Clever social engineering tactic. I don't think this was a good idea in any way, but I'll give the dude credit. He's a good talker. I frequent your establishment 2 to 3 times a week. Yeah, right. Looks more like 23 times a week. If this guy needs anything, it's not Del Taco. In the early days of YouTube, the Del Taco scam video was truly one of a kind, and it went viral, amassing tens and eventually hundreds of thousands of views. Unfortunately for Rob, though, this attention meant that the Del Taco scam video would eventually make it back to Del Taco themselves. Perhaps with YouTube being so niche at the time, Rob never expected his fast food victim to find...
I was like, yeah, the Hachi plush time got extended. You can get one. We got 7.
Who knew Rob in real life recognized
We got 7 days left.
and called
We got like a week. We got like an extra
reporting his
week.
fraudulent activity to authorities. With all the evidence they needed publicly viewable on YouTube, they promptly tracked the man down and arrested Rob. This obese fraudster was hit with a felony commercial burglary charge and placed on a $125,000 bond. Police had this to say about Rob after he was arrested and put in jail. He was quite proud of himself there in the video, but he cried like a big baby back here. Both Brian Fawcett and Ian Hobbs were also arrested due to their connection with the Del Taco scam. In March of 2008, Robert would plead guilty and was sentenced to serve 30 days in jail along with 3 years of probation and was completely banned from the Rialto Del Taco. After the conclusion of the case, the district attorney commented, "I tried to get him to stay away from all Del Tacos, but the judge said just the one." As for Ian and Brian, unfortunately, I'm unable to ascertain exactly what their sentences were, but I would imagine it was less than Rob the Kingpin. Recording yourself scamming Del Taco is pretty stupid, but Rob has nothing on our next guy, an individual that went to jail over cold fries from McDonald's. Before we get into our next story, a brief word from today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Keeps, and to begin the ad, let's look at my hair from old videos filmed back in 2020. Yeah, as you can see, your boy was losing hair and losing it fast. I didn't want to go bald, so I decided to do something about my hair.
Alright, let's
loss
see if
and
we
got
can skip
started
this
with
ad.
Keeps.
Oh, cool. We got
Fast
a
food joint gets your
we had time-stamped ad. Great. But yeah. So I don't know. But thanks for the wishing me the well wishes. I really hope it makes it. I'm really stoked about that. Yeah, no, it's timestamped, so that's pretty cool. I just clicked on it. That's fine.
order wrong, it can be frustrating. But it's not the end of the world. In light of a screw-up, most people ask the restaurant for a refund or simply wait around for them to remake the order correctly. However, there does exist a small cohort of individuals that have reacted disproportionately to a restaurant getting their order wrong, such as the folks who have called police over mismatched items in their bags.
And what did the owner say to you?
Well, I ordered a chicken sandwich, and basically the owner, I told him right before I ordered, can't eat tomatoes because I'm allergic.
It goes without saying that it takes a room temperature IQ to think it's worth calling the police over a fast food order. But you know what's even more outrageously stupid? Doing this while you have an active warrant out for your arrest.
Oh.
Meet 24-year-old Antoine Sims. In August of 2022, Mr. Sims would enter and place an order at a Kennesaw, Georgia McDonald's location. This man, who was said to have been with his fiancée at the time, found himself becoming frustrated at the length of time it was taking the employees to prepare his food. Nearly 10 minutes had passed and Sims was still waiting. The man eventually snapped, and with no receipt in hand, he questioned the cashier what was taking so long. Well, it turns out that Antoine Sims' order number had already been called, and he didn't notice it because he didn't have his receipt. His food was ready and had been sitting out ready to be picked up for several minutes at this point. After this discovery, the man would inspect his meal, only to find that his French fries had become cold. Enraged by this development, Sims was said to have furiously demanded staff to make him some fresh French fries. The man has been quoted as saying this to management, quote, "You better give me some fucking French fries, motherfucker." This situation was said to have escalated into a physical altercation with Antoine Sims allegedly throwing his food and drink at the McDonald's manager. Due to Mr. Sims'
You better get me some fucking French fries.
He was kicked out of the store by the McDonald's team, and he was told to never return. Antoine Sims was livid after being thrown out of the establishment, and in his rage, he decides to make a phone call. The vengeful man found it prudent to dial 911 and explain to authorities that McDonald's was refusing to supply him with a fresh order of French fries. After much haranguing, dispatch would eventually capitulate and send officers to the scene to investigate this French fry fiasco. A short time later, officers would arrive at McDonald's and police body cam footage would record Antoine detailing his dilemma.
I guess our order was called, but we don't even know our order number. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So now our food is sitting there cold, so when I come up, I say, you know, I try the fries they're lukewarm, but they're not hot. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I just asked him, can we get some fresh fries? Okay. He said, okay, the fries are not hot, touch the fries. I said, no, they're not hot. And at this point, you don't touch them, so, you know, yeah, can I just get a fresh set? Okay. So is he getting the fries? And I said, can I also get the receipt? That was 5 minutes ago. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, sir, 5 minutes ago, I can run my store however I want to run my store. Okay. This now, sir, I didn't pay. He said, matter of fact, you can leave my property. You're off my property now.
The ever so patient police selected his first and last name. Then they entered the restaurant to speak with the McDonald's franchise owner. The McDonald's workers would point out that Antoine was the aggressor, and the owner of the restaurant would also point out that he noticed a probation anklet on Antoine's leg, basically suggesting that he thought the man was out on probation.
He insists that all his food's cold. Okay. It's burning my hands, so whatever. That's, doesn't really matter. Okay. Took it to the next level, starts cussing me. You better give me that fresh fries, It's like, what? Starts losing it, starts shoving his food at me. And I said, sorry. I said, well, tell you what, you can take your business elsewhere. Give me a car, give me a refund. No, you're not going to give me an effing refund. You're going to give me food and my money back. So I don't want to CT. I don't want to ever have him back. Okay. I mean, dude's obviously on probation. Got an ankle bracelet on.
After speaking with the owner, it seemed as if police thought that McDonald's was in the right in this situation. The officer would then reapproach Mr. Sims and inform him that he was no longer allowed to go into the restaurant and asked him if he would be willing to sign an acknowledgement form stating such. Still hung up on getting new French fries, Mr. Sims wasn't thrilled about the development but kind of played ball for the time being.
He does not want you coming back in the store. He actually wants us to criminally trespass you, so you will not be allowed back at this McDonald's.
I don't even stay here.
It doesn't matter. He's requested it. We got to do it. It's not a big deal. It's a piece of. No, we're not charging you. It's a piece of paper we're going to give you that's going to say, hey, you can't come back to this McDonald's. That's all it is.
Wow. No, just realistically, did I do anything wrong?
I don't know. I'm not here to even figure that out. I'm here to keep the peace.
Now at this point, the officer would go back to his police cruiser to get that acknowledgement form that he mentioned, but while inside his car, he decided to do a little bit of investigation about the theory that Antoine Sims was a man on probation. He runs his name through the police database. And after running Antoine's name through his police cruiser computer, the officer was stunned to discover that the man had an active warrant out for his arrest. Turns out, Antoine Sims had been arrested back in 2018. The man was suspected of being connected to the murder of a woman named Adeliza Mertovic.
Oh, murder.
This woman was thought
Jesus.
to have been accidentally killed in a botched drug deal. and prosecutors were alleging Antoine Sims of assisting the perpetrators in hiding evidence of the crime. Apparently, Antoine had missed a court date pertaining to this case while he was out on bond. Because of this, a warrant was put out for his arrest. The officer, who at this point was just stunned at the audacity of someone calling the police over something so petty with an active warrant, decided to play it cool and call for backup. He gets the acknowledgement form, goes back to Antoine with the intent of making an arrest. When the officer returned, he handed Antoine the acknowledgement form. The police commenced small talk, trying not to alert the man of his imminent arrest. Soon, additional officers would arrive, and at this point, Antoine Sims began to grow visibly paranoid. Seeing the situation deteriorating, police would go for an arrest, and it's at this point that Antoine runs for it.
Will you come over here, man?
No, I'm afraid of y'all, sir.
Why are you afraid?
It's been 3 years, sir. I'm afraid of you.
All right, I'm gonna walk you through. Why are you doing that?
I know how to fill it out.
Why are you doing that?
I know how to fill. Am I arrested?
Yeah. Come on.
Don't look me yet.
Car.
The fleet-footed French fry complainant ran from police for some time and even allegedly attempted to break into an apartment building during the pursuit. But eventually, officers tracked Antoine Sims down, tased the man, and took him into custody. After arresting Sims, police would search his vehicle that he rode to McDonald's in and discovered 31 grams of marijuana. So in addition to being in trouble for skipping court, he now had an additional charge of possession with intent to distribute. Antoine Sims is now back in jail and awaits court relating to his alleged involvement in the death of Adeliza Murtovic. I'll end this segment with a YouTube comment under the police activity video showcasing the body cam footage of Antoine's arrest, which I think very well sums up the man's intelligence. This guy has the reasoning capabilities of a chicken McNugget.
Okay.
Calling the cops over some cold French fries while you have an active warrant for your arrest is absurdly stupid. Antoine Sims would fit right in with our next harebrained fool caught up in a fast food disaster. That being the man who tried to impersonate In-N-Out Burger's CEO and got sued for it in civil court. In March of 2018, a man donning a suit entered an In-N-Out Burger establishment in San Fernando Valley, California. Introducing himself by the name John Trollston, the sharply dressed man
wow, okay.
as the CEO
fuck you,
of the company
John
itself.
Trollston.
Trollston claimed
Get the
that he
fuck
wanted
outta
to
here.
fry meal from the restaurant so that he could audit the place's quality and make sure that it was up to In-N-Out standards. Some of the employees at the restaurant took the bait and gave the man food, but the obvious prank attempt at hand was caught on quickly by one of the managers, who denied John Trollston the attention he was seeking. See, it turns out Mr. Trollston was actually an online prankster named Cody Roeder. Roeder had already successfully perpetrated a similar prank, which was recorded and published to his YouTube channel, Troll Munchies. Seeing through Mr. Trollston's ruse, the manager at this In-N-Out establishment would call police over the matter. Upon realizing the police had been alerted, Cody, aka John Trollston, hastily fled the restaurant and managed to escape the scene before the cops arrived. However, despite narrowly evading police confrontation, this wouldn't be the end of John Trollston's In-N-Out CEO impersonation antics. Cody would continue this same half-wit prank, hitting another In-N-Out location in Burbank, California, claiming that he was the CEO in an attempt to get free food. In the Burbank attempt, he goes as far as making a public scene by stepping on a burger in front of the restaurant's manager and customers.
Sir, I hate to say this, but
I need
your food's
I'm gonna take your burger. Sir, I need you to leave now.
Yeah. Sir, this is just, it's garbage.
He would avoid police
Wow,
intrusion
okay.
in this situation as well, and his videos continued to go up showcasing him pranking In-N-Out restaurants. But this Burbank incident would prove to be the last straw for In-N-Out. Apparently, prank channels had been swarming the areas and these In-N-Out restaurants around Los Angeles for some time, with many customers and employees complaining to the company about being filmed by opportunistic trolls and influencers who would visit their restaurants. As a result of Cody Roeder's In-N-Out Burger CEO impersonation pranks, Cody was sued by the company. Their lawsuit demanding that Cody be banned from In-N-Out Burger establishments, that he pay them $25,000 in damages, and requested a restraining order be issued against the man that, if violated, would incur $1,000 of damages for each infringement. While the outcome of this lawsuit isn't public, videos related to In-N-Out Burger were removed from the Troll Munchies channel, so I can only imagine that the lawsuit had legs to some degree. In what's likely one of the most disturbing crimes in the history of fast food, we now get to our final fast food disaster. The story of the McDonald's strip search hoax. It's an incident involving a deeply unsettling crime that affected an 18-year-old employee. A crime that was facilitated due to the incompetence and negligence showcased by her management. On April 9th, 2004, at a McDonald's location in Mount Washington, Kentucky, assistant manager Donna Summers was working her shift when she got a phone call in her back office. Summers picked up the phone, and to the woman's surprise, the man on the line identified himself as a police officer, a man going by the name Officer Scott. Officer Scott promptly informed the assistant manager that one of her employees, 18-year-old Louise Ogborn, was reported to police by a customer who claimed that Louise had stolen money from them at the restaurant. As a part of this policeman's investigation, the officer requested assistant manager Donna Summers to bring Louise to the manager's office and perform a search of the employee, under the premise of finding this allegedly stolen money. Donna Summers was initially skeptical at the claims made by the officer. However, the man on the phone was able to accurately describe Louise's physical appearance, and the man was able to put together a believable story that Donna Summers eventually believed to be legitimate. Under the assumption that she was aiding in a legit police investigation, while still on the phone with the officer, Donna summoned Louise to her office. And from here, things take a bizarrely dark turn. After Louise was in the office with Summers, Officer Scott ordered Donna Summers to perform a strip search on the employee. Under guidance from this disembodied authority figure, the assistant manager meticulously searched the clothing of Louise, to the point where the only article of clothing worn by the woman was a restaurant apron. Nothing had been found on Louise throughout this meticulous search. In hindsight, it's clear that something unusual was going down here, but Donna Summers didn't necessarily see a problem with this very particular search that the officer was ordering her to do. After about 30 minutes into the search, with Officer Scott requesting more interrogation done on the woman, Donna Summers would apparently express that this investigation was taking too much of her time and was interfering with operations of the restaurant. The assistant manager would then leave the room and pass the phone along to another employee, 27-year-old Jason Bradley. Bradley was tasked with watching the accused Louise Ogborn until Donna Summers could return. Jason Bradley, now at the helm of the phone, began speaking with this alleged policeman. In subsequent interviews performed with Jason Bradley after this incident, the man claims that he felt that something was suspicious about the legitimacy of the officer on the line. 18-year-old Louise was terrified at this point, almost naked, and had been thoroughly searched with nothing found. The man thought, why wasn't the officer physically present if this was such a big deal? However, despite his suspicions, Jason Bradley would keep the phone line open with Officer Scott. After engaging in small talk with Officer Scott, sometime later, manager Donna Summers would return to inform those in the office of a rather unusual plan of action that was to take place. She informed everybody in the office that since the restaurant was so poorly staffed and that they were busy and couldn't really handle this on their own, that she had called her fiancé, a man named Walter Nix, and this man would be coming to the restaurant to aid in the interrogation of Louise Ogborn. Walter Nix was not a McDonald's employee and by no means should have been involved in this.
What the fuck is going on with this?
Apparent as this story progresses
this is insane. Wait, so there's just this guy just calls and says he's a cop, and then they just like go along with it. What the fuck? That's so insane. That's insane. What is like I'll call like that happened to you. Wow, fucked up. This is like insane. Like I don't know what else to say about it. It's so fucked up. Like they just let it. They just like, oh my god. Like they went like so far with it.
management and her fellow
Like, they didn't once think, like, it could have been, like, a hoax. Like, the guy should have just... If it was real, there would have been a guy there. It's ridiculous.
McDonald's employees were deeply incompetent.
And also, like, making civilians, like, do... Like, I guess, is civilian the right word? I don't know. Making somebody, like, do police work for you is, like, super weird. That's, like, that should have been, like, a red flag, but it wasn't. I guess, like, the manager had, like, some, like, crazy power trip that they were, like, doing some crazy, like, some cool police shit or whatever.
After all, nobody had taken any action or raised an eyebrow at the concerning path that this bizarre investigation had gone down. An investigation being helmed by an officer that none of them had met. And sadly, Summer's boyfriend, Walter Nix's involvement in this situation would cause the entire McDonald's strip search incident to become far darker. Walter Nix would arrive and man the phone sometime later, and what follows is 2 hours of Nix taking orders from Officer Scott on the phone, orders that led to unspeakable abuse against Louise, including but not limited to sexual assault. The terrified woman feeling compelled to stay and endure this treatment under fear of getting in trouble with police.
My God.
After being assaulted under orders from Officer Scott, Walter Nix would leave the room, and assistant manager Donna Summers would then send in staff custodian 58-year-old Tom Sims to speak with the
This
police.
is insane. How is this real? Yeah, you should just do that. Okay, fuck off. That's so stupid.
Mr. Sims would be the man to break the chain of abuse that was occurring against this poor employee. Upon manning the phones, Officer Scott then instructed custodian Sims to remove Louise's apron. The custodian, who was already confused by the situation at hand, became extremely concerned upon hearing this request and felt that his fellow employees had played into the hands of some sort of twisted deviant, posing as an officer. The custodian immediately got assistant manager Donna Summers and explained to her that they had likely just been duped, asserting that Officer Scott was a fraud and his call was a hoax. It would be at this moment
It took the janitor to figure out that it wasn't real. Also, hi, yeah, we're doing all right. We're just drawing comics.
In the phone call. After this development, Donna had finally come to the same disturbing realization that custodian Sims had. The employees had assisted some freak out there in abusing Louise. McDonald's upper management were soon notified about the situation, and it wouldn't be long until police would arrive as well.
They should all get fired. All of them get fired. Fuck that.
An investigation and inquiry was launched into the abuse of Louise Ogborn, and authorities sought out to find the man that made the Officer Scott phone call. What Donna Summers and her employees didn't realize at the time of this incident taking place was that there was a serial hoax caller on the loose. An unknown man had been making threatening phone calls all around the U.S. to individuals and businesses impersonating authority figures and using blackmail to compel workers to perform sadistic acts that fulfilled his own sexual fantasies, most of which targeted fast food restaurants or retail stores. And after a long investigation, police would name a suspect. The man behind the McDonald's strip search call and many others was alleged by police to be 38-year-old David R. Stewart, a Walmart security guard from Panama City, Florida. According to police, David R. Stewart was found to have been in the possession of phone cards associated with call log data from the aforementioned abuse hoax calls, and police had surveillance footage of Stewart purchasing these very cards. As a result of what happened to Louise at McDonald's in Mount Washington, Kentucky, David Stewart was arrested on June 30th of 2004 and was charged with impersonating a police officer and solicitation of sodomy. Walter Nix, Louise's most serious in-person abuser, was brought in on charges of sodomy and assault. The man would later be found guilty and sentenced to serve 5 years in prison. Donna Summers, whose negligence helped facilitate the abuse of Louise, was convicted on misdemeanor charges and was sentenced to serve a year of probation. And what would become of David Stewart, the man alleged to have been behind this hoax call? Well, David Stewart was facing up to 15 years in prison for his alleged crimes. But during trial, the prosecution failed to provide any direct evidence proving David was the voice in the hoax call. As sadly, despite there being video recording from inside the McDonald's, the camera did not capture audio, nor was the phone call recorded in any other way. While police had connected him to the purchasing of phone cards related to hoax calls, the proof was only circumstantial in relation to the McDonald's case. Because of this, the jury did not find the man guilty, and he was acquitted of any criminal wrongdoing. Curiously, hoax calls of this sort completely stopped afterwards. The accused man has never spent a day in prison stemming from this incident despite evidence linking him to the crime, and he maintains a clean criminal record. As for Louise, the tragic victim of the McDonald's hoax call, in 2007, she would file a massive lawsuit against McDonald's, asking for $200 million in damages. Attorneys for McDonald's claim that the blame mostly belonged to Donna Summers for not recognizing the hoax and not the greater company. But in the end, they were found liable. Ultimately, Louise was awarded $1.1 million.
Yes, good. She deserves it.
Resulting from this case. And bizarrely,
yeah, I don't know. Sorry, comrade. This fucking story was insane. It's so insane. She deserves $1 million for that. Fuck that.
enough, Donna Summers, the assistant manager, was awarded $400,000 herself in a separate civil suit filed against McDonald's. The premise of the case stating that McDonald's failed management by not informing them of the threat of hoax callers at the time. It's extremely frustrating that whoever was behind this call was never caught and brought to justice.
That's fucked up. That story is so fucked up.
Way more money than what she got from these McDonald's lawsuits. The legacy of this case is deeply unsettling to say the least. In my opinion, this is likely the most disturbing fast food disaster in history, and will live on as a cautionary
God damn, that is disturbing. God damn.
And why one should always be weary when communicating with someone under anonymity. And well, you made it to the end. Let me know what you guys thought about the video down below in the comments section, and let me know who or what you want me to talk about next. I want to give a major shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys. Wavy Web Surf out.
Thank you, Wavy Web Surf. You make good videos. Anyway, wait. Alright, I have an idea for, let me see. Oh, here we go. Wait. Let's see if I can find, like... Here we go. I guess let's watch a bunch of Transformers toy commercials. I think that'd be pretty fun. Wait, I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom. Okay, I'm back. I wonder if this has the Pretenders commercials in it, where he goes, Optimus Prime needs the best Transformers ever!
Transform, where things are not what they seem. It is the world of the Transformers. The Transformers, more than meets the eye. Autobots wage their
Wow.
to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. Transformers.
Wow, this is a lot of animation. This must have been before the mandates. Oh yeah, there's I remember hearing a thing where it's like eventually they had to stop using a bunch of animation in toy commercials because it's like false advertising or some shit. Or not false advertising, but just like, you know, you can trick kids into thinking your toys can move or whatever. Or it's something like that. I don't know. Not sure, but it's like you can only, like, it's currently you can only have 7 seconds of animation in your toy commercial.
The Transformers from Marvel Comics.
Oh, it's an ad for the comic. I guess that makes sense. Look at him. Wow, Megatron looks super different. Wait, I need to I need to work on this, I think. Transformers. I'm gonna get this song fucking stuck in my head. Wow, look. That's the guy. Come on, open this. Wow, that white kid loves it. He was really into it. He was just mugging at the camera. He was like, Transformer. Oh yeah, no, I saved. It's fine. I just opened up this file. I'm good. But thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, the Dinobots! We like them. I'm gonna get this song fucking stuck in my head all day. Oh my god! Oh, this kid... Wait. It's that meme where it's like, you know, like motherfuckers with green eyes when motherfuckers with green eyes when they're looking at you. I'm gonna screenshot this and I gotta show people and say motherfuckers with green eyes when. I think, like, part of what's getting me about this is that, like, oh wait, I tabbed out of it, so that's why it turned black. Part of what's getting me about this is that they get these, like, kids to, like, mug at the camera and, like, look super serious, and it looks just really funny. That's that's what's getting me about that. Wow. Wow, the Insecticons, we like them.
An evil new menace from the world of the Transformers.
The fucked up part, I said this a lot that I'm gonna get this stuck in my head, but fucking but like Transformers doesn't have another theme song, so that's just gonna be in here the whole time. Wow, we got Devastator. Oh my god, there he is! He's all squinty this time.
Destructicons gift set sold separately from Hasbro.
Transformers, it used to be easy to tell the Autobots from the Decepticons. But now, the mini spies are on the loose. They look like Autobots, but are they? It's a Decepticon! After him! Transformer mini...
Wow! Did you see that? That's fucked up. He's like, hey, who's this guy? This is I know a little. Oh God, I've like watched so many fucking videos that I know like more than I should about Transformers now. But like this is the commercial. It's like I think around this time, bootleg Transformers were coming out, and yeah, exactly. Bootleg Transformers were coming out, so they came out with these like mood ring kind of stickers where if they like you rub your thumb over it, and it reveals the logo. So they're just like. So this car just comes in and it's just like, hey, who's this guy? Is this just like is this ours? Are you one of us? We don't know. Let's rub his sticker. Oh, he's a bad guy. Oh, fuck this. Get out of here. That's so funny.
Motorized Transformers. You can't tell if they're Autobots or Decepticons until you rub up their symbol. Transformer.
Wait.
Until you rub up their symbol.
What's wrong with his eyes? His eyes look so droopy. Wow. Anyway. All these radioactive kids. They're just like, it's like they wanted the Chernobyl kids to be in the commercial. Droopy ass green eyes. Wow. Transformers.
The Transformers sold separately from Hasbro.
Oh God!
But where are the Autobots?
Oh, it got loud. Oh, this is Omega Supreme. I'm calling it. That's Omega Supreme. You see?
Who cares? Decepticons are gone! Oh no! Look!
It's Omega Supreme.
The Autobots Omega Supreme Defense Base. It comes with a motorized tank with flashing turret lights.
Decepticons! Counterattack Omega Supreme! Transformers! Omega Supreme will stop them!
Oh, he's mugging at the camera. He loves it.
The Transformers sold separately. Batteries not included from Hasbro.
Oh, it's quiet again. Okay. I guess just the Omega Supreme commercial was really loud.
But the Autobot scientist Perceptor is ready for anything. Introducing Perceptor. From a working microscope, he transforms into a robot. And Triple Changer Blitzwing transforms from tank.
Oh, that's Blitzwing. We like Blitzwing. Robot in disguise. Oh, infiltrated! We got another boombox, baby. That's Sound Blaster, I think. His name's Just Blaster? I don't remember. Transformers.
Separately from Hasbro. Ultra Magnus is a born leader.
Oh, Ultra Magnus.
And it will be the last time we meet.
You like Ultra Magnus?
Galvatron transforms from laser cannon to fighting robot, and Ultra Magnus from huge car carrier to Autobot commander. And now it's here in theaters everywhere. Transformers the movie.
Oh, we're at the movie, huh?
Transformers the movie, rated PG, now playing everywhere. Don't miss it. What could be more terrifying than being Cop and Hot Rod stranded on an alien planet battling?
It's actually the canon colors. The canon colors for Hachi are gold eyes, red trim. Wait. You can see. Wait, I was gonna pull up a picture, but you can see it here. Like, look at this. Yellow eye, and it's like red on the side. If you want references, you can like DM me and I'll just like give you references or whatever. Yeah, if you haven't ordered one, you should get one. You should get one. Wait. Let's have something happen. Wait, you gotta have a fight. Oh no, it's the fox from Tunic. They're gonna fight. They're fighting. Stop fighting. Stop fighting. You're both so sexy. Stop fighting. Wow. And then they had peace. And peace was loved by all. Wow, Wheelie. We hate Wheelie. The Sharkticons, wow. These are the movie toys. The movie toys are... I don't like the movie toys. I think the movie ones were like made up vehicles and all the regular Transformers are just like real vehicles, and I think they wanted to like not pay car companies royalties to have real vehicles. Wow! Oh, not only was this kid mugging at the camera, he turned into Galvatron. Fucked up.
The Transformers, each sold separately from Hasbro.
Decepticons are attacking our launch site. Where's Prime? He's on Savage.
This one it got really loud.
It's up to you, Ultra Magnus. Autobots, transform and powder.
When Ultra Magnus rolls into action, he takes.
Who would win, Hachimitsu or the Face Transformer? I don't know. Wait. I can have Hachi fight a Transformer. You want to see? Alright. Here we go. Oh no. Hachi, look out. Here comes Autobot Arc. Oh, how's she gonna win this one? How's she gonna win this one? Oh, that's how she won. She pulled out her secret technique. This thing is like $200, by the way.
Meet Ultra Magnus. We can transport 4 Autobots into battle.
4 Autobots into battle?
Transforms into my powerful Autobot commander.
The Transformers, sold separately from Hasbro. And coming this summer, Transformers the movie.
Transformers the movie.
Anything like it.
Oh, now it's quiet again. Oh, the Menosaur? And the other one. They hate each other. The Decepticon. See, if you buy the Hachi plush, then you can do that. You can have it fight your most expensive Transformer. Oh, that kid turned into a guy too! These kids are fucking serious about turning into robots.
This is our new city, Metroplex.
Oh, Metroplex. Okay. That's that one.
Transform again into the gigantic Metroplex himself. But the Combaticons can combine to form Bruticus.
Decepticons attack! Transform Metroplex!
The Transformers from Hasbro.
His spaceship destroyed by Decepticon fire. Springer, the toughest of the Autobot triple changers, crash lands on planet Junkion.
No welcome when you hit a stranger!
Junkion Ricka transforms from motorcycle to robot. And triple changer Springer transforms from car to helicopter to robot.
Oh, they're talking so fast I can't even like make out what's happening.
The Transformers.
I know the child turned into the robot again. They changed the words. They're really shaking things up.
Transforms from dune buggy to copter to robot, and broadside transforms from carrier to jet to robot. To fight Decepticon triple changer Octane, who transforms from tanker to jumbo jet to robot. The Transformers from Hasbro. And more Autobots join Optimus Prime.
More Autobots join Optimus Prime.
Hot Rod. Watch my smoke. Blur. Now you don't. And these are the new Decepticons, the evil Cyclonus. I'm starting for a fight. And Scourge. No one escapes the sweet. But soon a new Autobot leader will arrive.
A new Autobot leader will arrive.
No one can take on the Decepticons like
nobody. The Transformers are here. And they're here to suck your dick right off. You'll never suck my dick right off. I'm Hot Rod. Wait, Flying Submarine? I don't know. Wait, which one was it? I think that was... Oh, try Predicate, or, Predaking. Transformers. Wow. Wait. Does this mean Drake was one of these kids and then they put him in a Sprite commercial? Is that what happened?
The Transformers, each sold separately from Hasbro.
Wow, okay, that's it. Aw. Wait, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to put up now. Wow, look at that. There's the kid. He's like, ah! He's gonna turn into a pirate when he grows up.
Optimus Prime is under attack.
He needs the best Transformers ever.
Optimus, we're here, and Pretenders.
Me Grimlock, me love my boyfriend. Classic Pretenders. I can't go that high.
Classic Pretender Transformers, Jazz, Bumblebee, Starscream, and Grimlock.
Me Grimlock, love boyfriend.
Greats are back as classic Pretenders, Jazz, Bumblebee, Starscream, and Grimlock.
Oh yeah, it's so fucked up that Jazz turns into a white guy too.
There's the other, then they both transform and combine to form another.
And beyond Mega.
There is one, there's the other, then they transform and make out with each other.
There's Ultra Pretenders.
Ultra Pretenders. I like that guy's voice. He's just like...
Inside each Ultra Pretender vehicle hides another
Did you know this guy is Steve-O's dad?
ultimate Transformer experience.
Who's more than they pretend to be? Mega Pretender Transformers, Mega Pretenders.
Mega Pretenders! The Mega Pretenders are back, and they're gonna suck your dick right off.
New Mega Pretenders. They're here. New Ultra Pretenders. Inside each vehicle is another incredible Pretender.
Beyond anything
You've ever seen Transformers Mega Pretenders.
Ultimate Transformer experience. Now the Decepticons have
The Decepticons have been dipped into a vat of goo, and now they're extra sexy. They've got the best butts you've ever seen. Decepticon Iguanus. Sexy as fuck. He's thick. With 2 C's.
Pretenders with rubbery skin.
Everything you've ever seen before. Transformers, Mega.
And their robots form a monster transformer.
Transformers! Oh, it's over. Okay. I don't know what else to put. Oh, wait, let's do Beast Wars. You know, the best thing about Pretenders is that they're beyond anything you've ever seen. Transformers, Mega Pretenders. That's pretty cool about that.
Beginning came the beasts and all that creeps, crawls, and flies. But nature lies, they're robots in disguise. Beast Wars, the next step in Transformer evolution is here. New Maximals, heroic animals battle the evil reptile and insect forces of the Predacons. They fight tooth and claw, heroic Dinobot attacks, morphs from Raptor Beast into vicious robot with spinning Velociraptor blades. Evil Waspinator full of venom changes like never before, from insect to high tech, and puts the sting on Cheetor.
From insect to high tech.
Meets the eye. Under the skin lurks a robot within.
I like the clicking sounds that they make when they transform.
But treacherous tarantula mutates and counterattacks.
Treacherous tarantula.
Charging, slashing, blasting. All new Beast Wars. The next step in Transformer evolution is here. And when you buy the Maximo Predacon 2-pack, you get a free Beast Wars comic book. Each sold separately. In the beginning came the beasts, but nature lies. They're robots in disguise.
They're robots in disguise.
Beast Wars. Heroic new Maximals battle the evil reptile and insect forces of the Predacons. Evil Waspinator changes from insect to high tech.
Insect to high tech.
Cheetor. But there's more to Cheetor than meets the
More
eye.
to Cheetor.
Under the skin lurks a robot within, with hidden weapons firing. All new Beast Wars. Each sold separately.
This is like the mid 90s or maybe late 90s.
In the beginning came the beasts, but nature lies. They're robots in disguise.
They're robots in disguise. Are we just getting like the same commercial but just like slightly different now?
Reptile and insect forces of the Predacons. Evil Waspinator changes from insect to high tech and puts the sting on Cheetor. But there's more
To Cheetor that meets the eye.
Under the skin lurks a robot within.
There's a robot within.
Weapons firing. All new Beast Wars. Comic book comes with 2-pack. All other figures sold separately.
Comic book comes with 2-pack.
Megatron, terrorize! Optimus, maximize!
Oh, we got the show. Beast Wars. Oh, we got Monkey.
Transform with double cannons firing. Megatron, terrorize! The evil towering T-Rex transforms from prehistoric to robotic.
Yeah, these clicks are like so satisfying, honestly.
The biggest stage in transformation. Each sold separately. Gigantic gorilla Optimus Primal transforms with double cannons firing. T-Rex Megatron transforms.
Oh wait, we got him. Wait, hold on. He's right there. Isn't that so cool? We like this. Oh, wait. No! Oh my god. Hachi has been defeated by Beast Wars Megatron. The only way to save her. The only way to save her is to give her your Spirit Ball energy by making purchase of the plushie. The link below. Scroll down once. You just take your scroll wheel and go like... Wait, take your scroll wheel and go like... No. You, I need to tap into a different window. Take your scroll wheel and go... Can you hear that? Do that. Just the once. You only need to do that once. Just do that once, and then you scroll down and you click on the picture and you can make purchase. Beast Wars. Oh, Scorponok. Oh, Polar Claw! They fucking advertised that they were gonna do Polar Claw in like one of the sets recently, and then they never did it. I was so upset. I always wanted Polar Claw when I was a kid, and he was so cool because he's a fucking polar bear and he looks so cool. And then they didn't make a new one. They should have made a new one. He's probably on the back burner. He's probably coming out eventually. I'll get it. I think he's cool. I think he's neat. Okay, and that's enough about Polar Claw. We need to we need to do line art. With the killer bee inside. I'm gonna hurt my throat trying to emulate this guy. There's Polar Claw again. Beast Wars. Oh, I had Transketo. I remember that guy. What was it? I just remembered a story from like when I was a kid. I just realized this line sucks. When like I really wanted Rhinox when I was a kid, and I got Rhinox for my birthday from my grandpa, and like I was trying to like a lot of the panels and stuff on it were like falling off because like he just basically had like a shell around him that you like did the rhino skin or whatever, and you just click it together. But it like kept falling off, and my mom's like, "This thing's a piece of crap," and I was like, "Yeah." So then my grandpa calls, and he's like, "Hey, how's your birthday?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's great." And then he's like, "Oh, how's the toy I got you?" And I said, "It's a piece of crap." And then mom's like, "No!" And then I started crying, and I gave the phone to mom. Yeah. Anyway, I had Transketo. He was pretty cool. Bleh.
But he's no match for triple changing baboon. Triple disguising.
Triple changing baboon.
New Mega Beast so differently.
Beast Wars.
Transformers taken to the power of 3. The new heroic Maximal team starts with 3 ferocious beasts.
I remember these guys.
3 battle-ready robots and combine to form one gigantic robot, Magnaboss.
Magnaboss. And then Tripredacus. I had Tripredacus.
Debugs that form the gigantic Predacon robot. Tripredacus versus Magnaboss. Transformers to the 3rd power. From triple threat to big bad bot, Ultra teams are ultra hot. New Tripredacus is built from
Thinking about this, I had a lot of these fucking toys when I was a kid.
Transformers taken to the power of 3. The new heroic Maximal team starts with 3 ferocious beasts.
3 ferocious beasts.
Battle-ready robots and combine to form one gigantic robot, Magnaboss.
Magnaboss.
Tripredacus, a terrifying triple combination. Transformers with 3 times the power. It's the ultimate rumble in the jungle. This triple team equals one big bot. Beast Wars are 3 times as hot. New Magnaboss is built from pack of 3. New Tripredacus sold separately. From beast to bot, the action's hot.
Oh, Inferno.
New Inferno is evil king of the anthill. With Stinger missiles, he's the ultimate surprise. Transforming from insect to high-tech. From Robochopper to full robotic battle mode. From beast to bot, the action's hot.
The action's hot. Oh, Cybershark! Wait. I have like, they made reissues of some of the toys, and I bought Cybershark. I think he's still in the box, but I think since I had to like put him in a bigger box, it got like all like fucked up or whatever.
Robot within. With flip blade tail, this is the final showdown.
I love Beast Wars. You know what? That show still holds up. It's a pretty good show, honestly. A lot of people are like, the CG sucks, and I'm like, yeah, and it's not like it runs poorly. It's a show.
Now look for the newest Transformers, Jetstorm and Bone Crusher. Figures each sold separately. 2 mighty beasts fused in one.
Oh, Fusors.
Heroic Silverbolt will settle the score.
I lived through all this shit like super hard. Silverbolt is the worst character in the show, by the way.
Poisonous Spawn. Evil Aquasting then becomes a robot of a whole new kind. Head of a lizard, wings from dragonflies. Evil Sky Shadow changes suddenly to a robot in disguise. 2 mighty beasts fused in one. New Beast Wars.
Fusors.
New figures each sold separately.
Wait, I'm gonna check the sales of the plushie. If it's like up like 1 since the last time I checked, then all Hachi will be revived. Beyond everything you've ever seen. Wow. I think we got several actually. That's pretty good. Let me go back. Hachi has been revived. She's defeated the evil Beast Wars Megatron. Transformers, Mega Predators! No, sit upright, please. Transformers. Wait, I need to look at my shit. She's looking right at you. She wants you. She wants you to make purchase of plushie. She wants you to do that. Beast Wars, Fusors. Silverbolt's the worst character in the show. He sucks. I hate him. And part of the reason, and like, him and his like love interest with Black Arachnia is why I don't really like Black Arachnia. Oh, Transmetals! I don't like Transmetal Optimus Primal or Transmetal Megatron. They don't look all that great. Transmetal 2 Megatron is really cool, and Optimal Optimus is also pretty cool. Did I watch Reboot? It was like on the same block, but I didn't really like pay attention to it. I was more interested in Beast Wars. The show was made by the same people, I think.
To full-on BattleBot with Mace Cannon. New Transmetal Megatron with 3 Transmetal modes. From Titanium T-Rex to Turbine-powered hovercraft.
Wait, I just realized this needs to be a little bit bigger.
Up against one ape that doesn't monkey around. Their strongest steel.
It doesn't monkey around.
New figures each sold separately. Metallic machines, 3 modes.
Oh, we got Rampage. Rampage is so cool. I remember Rampage being really cool. Is Depth Charge also in this commercial? We like Depth Charge. Yeah, there he is. We like Depth Charge.
Metallic Manta Ray to gleaming orbital assault vehicle to grenade-loaded Ultra Robot. Metallic machines, 3 modes of me.
Oh, they did Barbie movies? Oh, you know what? Some of those Barbie movies are actually pretty good. Like, I remember, like, watching it, my sister got some of them, and we're just kind of like, yeah, this is alright. I had Depth Charge. He was so cool. Oh, there we go. Optimal Optimus. That one's also really good. I had that one also. Transmetals.
Cybershark is a bite that ignites. When he changes, maximize. He'll still blow you out of the water. Dinobot's gonna whip your robot.
He's gonna whip your robot. Wow, why do we have kids in these commercials all of a sudden? Are we gonna get kids in the next one too?
Cybershark is a bite that ignites.
A bite that ignites.
He'll still blow you out of the water. Dinobot's gonna whip your robot.
New Transmetals 2, each sold separately. Without change, there is no victory.
Oh, Tiger Hawk. Oh, here we go. Yeah, fucking Transmetal 2 Megatron is so cool. Look at him. That's an awesome dragon. Tiger Hawk is funny. There's like a funny story about that. So like they like set up Tiger Hawk like really early, and there's like a bunch of like, oh, we're not gonna make the toy. And then they're like, okay, well, I guess we can't put him in the show. And then they're like, oh, we're gonna make the toy. And they're like, okay, we'll put him in the show. And then they put him in the show, and they're like, oh, we're not making the toy actually. And then they're like, okay, well, let's kill off Tiger Hawk. And then they made the toy. It's like something like that. It's really dumb. I have wait. I actually have There we go. I'm so fucking cringe today. I'm just like, let me show you all my toys. That's what happens when you get the camera on.
Triple the might, triple the fight.
Triple the
Without
fight.
change, there is no victory. Beast Wars. New Megatron and new Tigerhawk. Each sold separately.
Tigerhawk's pretty cool. They should make a new Tigerhawk. I'd buy that.
Megatron. New giant Tigerhawk. Triple the might, triple the terror. Without change, there is no victory.
A lot of recent Transformers stuff has been like super like nostalgic, and it's really neat. Oh, it's over! God damn it! Well, what do we do now? Let me see. Let me like look for something to watch. Oh, these were good videos. I liked these. I'll just watch them again and we can watch them together.
Yes, it's time. To talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Was a manga series created by Kazuki Takahashi in 1996. Kazuki Takahashi was his pen name. His original name is Kazuo Takahashi. At the time, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was serialized in Weekly Shonen Jump, and it ran from September 30th in 1996 all the way until March 8th of 2004, spanning a Goliath run of 343 chapters in total. Originally planning a horror manga, Takahashi ended up making a battle anime where the battle is fought via games. Many will be surprised to find how dark the manga is, and how little the game of Duel Monsters appears at first. Yugi is a young boy bullied in school, and upon solving the Millennium Puzzle, he finds himself able to turn into Dark Yugi, a confident young man who takes shit from no one. And
That's one of the things I thought was interesting, like watching this. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, wait, Dark Yugi, it's Yami Yugi. Wait a minute, Yami means dark. So they just like didn't want to call him Dark Yugi in the dub.
uses games to upend evildoers. At first, the games that Yugi plays are a little weird and dark. Games where you put money on your hand and try to stab it with a knife without stabbing your hand. And if you break the rules or lose, well, you might find yourself in a penalty game. Penalty games being a personal hell inflicted upon people by Dark Yugi. The punishments of these penalty games often coincide with whatever makes the bad guy, well, bad. Take this evil skeezy director, for example. His penalty is everything that he sees becomes a blurred out mosaic.
It does. I know a little bit of Japanese.
Tobacco and firearms, something often cut when anime is brought to the United States. And we also see the bad guy set himself on fire in Yugi's little game via his lit cigarette and the overpouring alcohol. Kaiba steals a Blue Eyes White Dragon from Yugi's grandfather, but his punishment is to be made into a Duel Monsters card in which he will suffer the illusion of death at the hands of the monsters in the game itself. Yeah, the original Yu-Gi-Oh! It's pretty grim. It isn't until Volume 2, Chapter 9 that we first see the card game Duel Monsters.
Then Yugi here's teaching me how to play Duel Monsters. Drooling Monsters? Duel Monsters, you Nimrod.
You know, the little card game that put the entire series on the map. But even then, the card game still has the same made-up bullshit rules that allow Yugi to win. So, some things never change. This original manga run was adapted into an anime that never made it to America. This was made by Toei Animation and ran for 27 episodes way back in 1998. This adaptation follows the original manga and is often referred to as Season 0. This anime keeps a lot of the plot beats of the darker manga. However, it does change some things, specifically a lot of the games and the events that unfold around them. They're a little less violent than the manga. Take for example the game in which the criminal lights himself on fire. In the anime, he doesn't accidentally drop a cigarette to immolate himself. Instead, Yugi puts him under the effects of a penalty game, one in which he believes he's burning. The flames that immolate him triggered by the very gun he was going to use to shoot Yugi, which is still a pretty terrifying thought for a children's show. But I guess it's okay because he's not really burning after all.
Despite the name, it does not connect to the Yu-Gi-Oh! We all know and love, the Duel Monsters Yu-Gi-Oh! But Yu-Gi-Oh! Itself would be born anew. In April of 2000, the monster 224 episode run of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters began. Developed by Studio Gallop, this wildly popular anime made its way to American shores via 4Kids. 4Kids' origins are rooted in Leisure Concepts, a company founded in 1970 by Mike Jermakian and Stan Weston. Mike Jermakian created the original concept designs of the Thundercats, as well as their iconic logo. Stan Weston was no small name either, the creator of G.I. Joe. In Leisure Concepts, they had found great success in licensing other content, and in the 1990s their company continued to grow and began dubbing Japanese animation into English under their subsidiary 4Kids Productions. On November 16, 1995, Leisure Concepts Incorporated renamed themselves to 4Kids Entertainment, the moniker they're most famously known for. The anime cash cow began to flow, with success stemming from the Pokemon franchise, the #1 contender for highest grossing media franchise of all time. And in 2001, 4Kids Entertainment acquired the merchandising and television rights to Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters.
It may be a game, but playtime's over. Yu-Gi-Oh! Premieres Saturday, September 15th on Kids WB.
Originally set to air on September 15, 2001, the 9/11 tragedy saw a great deal of media pushed back. Everything from NFL games to the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Was quickly and abruptly put on hold. Yu-Gi-Oh! Would eventually air 2 weeks later on September 29th, and children's eyes everywhere would open on Saturday morning to a new world. And so would parents' wallets. The intro was changed for Western markets, which was par for the course in the 90s and early 2000s. I always recommend trying to listen to the original Japanese intro if you can. It's actually pretty good. Another common change to English-speaking markets is name changes. All of the Japanese names have been changed to fit more conventional Western names. Katsuya Jonuchi is now Joey Wheeler. Hiroto Honda became Tristan Taylor. Anzu Mazaki was changed to Taya Gardner. Of course, Yugi got to keep his name, he is the namesake of the show after all. But his grandfather Sugoroku was changed to Solomon. Side characters had their names changed just a little, but not too much. Mai Kujaku became Mai Valentine. Pegasus J. Crawford was changed to Maximilian Pegasus. Keith S. Howard, nicknamed Bandit, just became Bandit Keith. These of course weren't the only name changes, and other characters like Seto and Mokuba did get to keep their names. But it is another common occurrence when watching older anime that's been dubbed into English. I wonder what a lot of these franchises have in common. The first thing many will notice is that the cards themselves are changed. They've drawn over a lot of the artwork and changed the font. They've also removed the text boxes. Instead, all that's left is the monster's attribute, level, picture, and attack and defense. You'll find this was done to remove religious, occult, violent, sexual, alcohol, and tobacco-related art from the cards. And these changes reflect in the on-field battles. When Exodia is first summoned, he doesn't come out of a pentagram like he does in the original Japanese. Instead, they've added way more points to the star. And you'll find these themes removed all across the anime, not just the cards. When Mai is first revealed in Japanese, the camera pans up her body, but in the 4Kids release, they just keep a static shot of her upper torso. In one scene, they draw over her skirt to make it just a little bit longer. And let's just say, well, she's way more revealing in the manga. And her Harpy Lady cards have pretty revealing titties. So they draw right over those boobs with a less revealing top. Speaking of top, one of her cards, Cyber Bondage, has been changed. Not only was the name changed, but the nipple spikes were also removed. No big surprise there. In the original Japanese, Mai stands guard, keeping the boys from peeking. Of course, it's a trope in anime to have the pervy young boys sneaking a peek at the naked young lady. She also tells the story of working on a casino ship, sailing around the world, giving us her backstory. A backstory filled with gambling, and this man smoking a cigar. It ends with Honda and Joichi trying to sneak a peek, only to get bonked by Mai.
Joey, I don't think we should cook the candy bars. Back off, I know what I'm doing.
But in the English, none of that happens. They've removed the pervy peeking Tom trope. In its place, she takes a little jab at Joey with a cooking joke.
Look at you go, Joey. Only thing missing is a chef's hat. And a cute apron.
Jeez, alright already.
Now keep cooking.
As well as cutting out Mai's backstory. Of course, they can't allude to gambling, smoking, or being an outright perv in a children's show. And so the scene quickly comes to an end when Taya hears a suspicious sound outside.
Say hello to Dark Magician Girl!
Another prime example of this is the Dark Magician Girl. She has a skirt added on in the 4Kids adaptation, as well as the pentagram on her chest being replaced, instead and filled with just solid rose gold color. Of course, removing sexual content from a kids show is a no-brainer, but some content can be harder to cut than others just based on the way it's told. Some scenes combine pervy sexual situations and violence. In one sequence, Anzu has a pervy stalker. He blackmails her, threatening to tell the school about the job she's not allowed to have if she doesn't do everything he tells her to do, holding a camera and panning it up and down in the creepiest of ways. A violent struggle ensues, in which eventually Dark Yugi comes to life and intervenes. Of course, all of the implied sexual content is removed in the English version. Here in the US, he's not a pervy rapist. Instead, he's just your basic mugger, with no camera to be seen. No perverted plans here. Also, whoever wrote this note in the English adaptation, please go see about dysgraphia, you might have it. They do oddly enough keep the violence. This is one of the few times in which the violence isn't removed from the American version of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Get away from her! You're lost! Yugi! Get up!
In the original Japanese, we see Yugi being beat by a bully. We hear the sounds of the blows and punches, but in the 4Kids adaptation, not so much.
Say your prayers, you runt.
The implied violence between Joey and Tristan is
Yeah,
reduced to shoving.
you know what? I think I agree with that. Like watching some of this, I am kind of like, you know, like when I was like in high school or whatever, I fucking hated 4Kids, and I'm just kind of like, this sucks. But then I realized it's like I'm realizing now it's like these were like made for like 5-year-olds, like not like the show themselves, but it's like this was brought over for like 5-year-olds to be like, I want to buy this card, I want to be Yu-Gi-Oh, and it kind of just makes sense now. It's like like it's not like there's the cultural differences and between like what's acceptable to show to kids or whatever, but then it's also just kind of like, yeah, you're marketing this towards like babies, you need to like cut it down a little bit, and that's like fine. But it's like, I think where the frustration comes from is like when you get older, the uncut stuff is like just not available, so like you're able to handle the more mature content, and it's just not available for you whether you like it or not, which is unfortunate. I mean, you could just like watch fan subs or something, but you know, you can't support the product that you like. I guess this was a time where like anime wasn't like, you know, anime wasn't still wasn't that prominent back then. Like they brought stuff over, but they didn't like, you know, nobody ever gave a shit about it really. They don't care about the medium, they care about making money via the cards.
Scene edited out. There aren't a lot of full-out fight scenes in Yu-Gi-Oh! Most of the brawling is done via duel monsters. It really sets a dark tone when Namu is being curb-stomped by a bunch of guys in black robes, only to have Jonoichi go into a berserk fit of rage, slugging them out one by one. He gets a little time to shine in the fight. We get a show of his delinquent fighter character that we've seen in previous episodes. Obviously, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a battle anime, but not that kind of battle anime. Over the course of the fight, the tide turns and Joey gets his ass kicked, something they wouldn't show in America. But much to the chagrin of the animators who put a lot of hard work into this scene, most of it was cut out and sent to the Shadow Realm, never to be seen by the English.
Oh, they got regular Sonic X out? That's cool. Did you know Watch Out and Have a Nice sound similar? That's I feel like this joke is just gonna go over everybody's head. Wait, that's the lyrics to the theme song. They say that. Anyway, that's it.
English-speaking audiences. Now let's take a look at the 4Kids version and how much it's changed.
Joey, look behind you! Take this!
You got him!
Piece of cake! Huh? Let go of her, you creep!
Look, what do you want?
On the other hand, this scene reads like utter nonsense with all the censorship.
You fool!
Are you alright, Joey?
I've been better.
Guns are also a big deal throughout the anime. We see them in a lot of scenes, but in the 4Kids adaptation, a lot of them are removed. Hilariously, Pegasus's goons point their fingers in the 4Kids adaptation instead of...
I don't know. Well, I don't know. I think the problem with Chris Thorndike is like a kid wants to watch a show about Sonic, not about somebody interacting with Sonic. You know? I think like because it's like even as a kid watching the show, it is kind of like I don't care about Chris. I want to watch Sonic. I want to watch Sonic do the thing. I feel like I don't know. Like as an adult, like watching like Tom interact with Sonic in the movie, I'm like, yeah, this guy's great. And I think it's just because he's written better. And I think it's also because the movie focuses around Sonic as opposed to, you know, like anything else. One of the things I remember is that like I knew a guy who was like working on a Sonic X fan dub with like the proper translation. And like one of the lines was that like there's like the race car driver in the first episode and he's like I'm watching this like fan dub and he's like time to activate my special milk. I'm like, oh, that's a line. His special milk. Anyway, that like stuck with me forever. The Japanese version of Sonic X uses official music. That's good.
But they do imply that Kaiba jumped to his death, which is oddly dark in its own way.
He jumped. Nobody could survive a fall like that.
Revolver Dragon's 3 revolvers are really poorly painted over. It's hilarious how cartoonishly bad they are. It almost looks like it was done in MS Paint, and they've quite literally nerfed the guns on Revolver Dragon. The scene also removes the loading action of the bullet into the chamber. As a kid, that might not take you out of the scene given the context of the show. But seeing the two side by side certainly does take some of the fear the presence of 3 barrels brings to the table. After Keith loses his duel to Joey, he comes after Pegasus, holding a gun to his head and threatening to take Pegasus's life. Murder for the sake of money. That's something that obviously won't fly in the United States. In the English, Keith points his finger at Pegasus's head, very menacingly I'll say, before being dropped through a trapdoor. However, both of these pale in comparison to the manga.
I like when he goes, ouch, when he hits the water.
In which Pegasus puts Keith under a penalty game. His hand becoming a gun, Pegasus forces Keith to point towards his head.
I've never been a huge Yu-Gi-Oh fan, but Takahashi's art in the manga is like clean as fuck. I feel like, you know, like some of these manga aren't like appreciated as much as like the anime, like simply by way of it being animated instead of like having to read a comic. People always prefer like animation over comics. Unfortunate considering what I'm doing right now. But god damn it, I forgot to do this. But I don't know. Dragon Ball Z and like Yu-Gi-Oh look really fucking nice. And then like it's just kind of like watered down by like the kind of like, I don't know, by the anime, I think. I mean, the anime still probably looks pretty good. It's just that like, you know, Toriyama's art is clean as fuck. Same with Yu-Gi-Oh.
And pull the trigger. Speaking of mind-blowing,
if you truly want to know, open your mind! There, Kaiba. Maybe now you will begin to see.
Yugi's mind crush
Maybe
is
now
ability
you will
we
begin
see
to see
times throughout the anime. But what it's capable of and what it does is changed quite a bit when it comes to the English version. Like the difference between opening Kaiba's eyes versus destroying the evil in his heart.
Pegasus may have helped you escape the Shadow Realm once before.
Here we see in the 4Kids version, Yugi uses his mind crush to send Ghost Kaiba to the Shadow Realm. However, in the Japanese, it's the imitator of death, and he's kind of just wiped from existence.
and then you can say hello to the Shadow Realm.
The Shadow Realm.
The Shadow Realm. Yu-Gi-Oh's version of the next dimension.
I'm phasing into another dimension.
Maybe you won't be such a disappointment in the next dimension.
Adversaries which manage to succeed in transporting Yamcha into another dimension.
Oh, you don't remember? Oh, are you just remembering another dimension or just finding out about that? That's great. That's actually like the DBZ one is like another thing is another, like this guy also has a video about the DBZ dub and I think I'm gonna put that one on next. But it's pretty cool, or not pretty cool. It's like, you know, just avoid mentions of death. So instead of dying, you're sent to the Shadow Realm, or you're being sent to another dimension. But yeah. And, you know, I think like I get it on one hand. Like death is like a scary thing, but like when you're a kid, like you're always like as like a small boy, you're like playing with like toy guns and you're like boom boom, you're dead. You're dead, and you don't understand death. But, you know, it's whatever.
Death is a touchy subject with children. I'll be the first to admit when I was a child, I was extraordinarily afraid of the concept of death. The thought that I would never be here again, that everything would just end and I would cease to exist. I didn't fully understand the concept, it just scared me as a child. So I understand why they remove it from cartoons, especially ones meant to market towards children to sell toys. So it's no surprise that we see a lot of references to the Shadow Realm, replacing the concept of death. However, Yu-Gi-Oh! As a manga and an anime is filled with death, whether it's represented in cards, the threat of death, or actual deaths in the show. In one duel, Yugi and his opponent are trapped at the legs, locked into a small stadium, with comedically oversized saws popping out, ready to cut their legs off at the shins should they lose the duel. Of course, in America, we can't have that level of violence, so they're changed to dark energy discs that will send you to the Shadow Realm.
What's that?
What's that?
It's a dark energy disc, Yugi, and I wouldn't get.
So like when I was watching this like the other day, but it's like when he says it's a dark energy disc, Yugi, I feel like a lot of lines in Yu-Gi-Oh are formatted that way, where it's just like statement, Yugi. Like, you know. Optimus Prime needs the best Transformers ever, and they're going to suck your dick off, Yugi. I don't know, that's a sentence.
One touch and your mind's banished to the Shadow Realm. The dark energy disc. No, this can't be happening.
Oh yeah, so I don't know, this is like a topic that nobody's ever I've never heard anybody bring up, but it's like how formulaic the 4Kids soundtracks are. Like 4Kids added a bunch of their own music to the shows, and there's two things that I think of every time I think about a 4Kids anime dub, and it's somebody jumps and then falls down or something, and comes down and it goes or something like that, you know, just kind of a big up and down arpeggio or something like that, or a scale up and down. It's just really weird. And then another one is that the excessive use of symbols, really I don't know how to say it. Just there's just a you know, when you have a crash symbol, but then you use a soft thing on it and it goes. I don't know how to explain it, but that's super prominent. Is a lot of use of the symbols and for impact, and then
Please don't send me to the Shadow Realm. Not even a cheat like you deserves to go to the Shadow Realm.
The Shadow
The Sauls have just been nerfed, and the threat of being sent to your death has been changed to the Shadow Realm, which feels a little more recoverable. The Shadow Realm may be a clever way to dance around death, but many of the games that revolve around death in the original Japanese anime have a lot of moving pieces. And the way they change things isn't always clever. Sometimes it's just silly. Take the duel with Loomis and Umbra. They stand on glass with bombs adhered, ready to plummet to their deaths should they lose the duel. But watch how they've changed it in the 4Kids edition.
And as for the losers, they'll pay a very hefty price. A trip to the Shadow Realm. But if you fall, you'll never reach the bottom. The very surface on which we stand is a divider between our world and the dreaded Shadow Realm, displayed in the magic shadow box on the floor beside you.
Yep, that's totally not a bomb.
Zero, the surface below you will be destroyed, opening up a vortex that leads directly to the Shadow Realm.
There are also some other minor things like removing alcohol from scenes, simply changing the alcohol to fruit juice.
Gorgonzola cheese and the world's finest fruit juice.
But the weirdest thing is sometimes they just change the story.
I better finish this fast. The quicker I defeat Mai, the less chance for interference by the spirit inside my Millennium Puzzle.
And I don't really know why. In the episode Duelist Intentions, Yugi has to fight against himself, the dark Yugi inside. But in the original, he's just too focused on Pegasus. I don't really know why they changed it. Listen, there are a lot of edits, and there's a lot of censorship in the 4Kids English version of Yu-Gi-Oh! This video is just scraping the surface. If I wanted to make a full video of all of the changes and censorships and edits, it would just almost be the entire series. You could watch the whole series from beginning to end and just assume 90-ish% of what they've said, what has come out of the characters' mouths, has been changed. A lot of the plot beats are still the same, but the way they go about them are just so radically different. As soon as 4Kids got a hold of the script, they sent most of it to the Shadow Realm. But it wasn't just the anime that was changed. If you look at the cards in their English language versions, they've been censored as well, to be less sexually revealing, to show less cleavage or less leg. The card Spy See Spy is a smorgasbord of censorship. It's almost like playing the game I Spy.
Ever drawn Shep doing a
Smile
blip?
the
I
changes.
should.
He twirls his mustache instead
Sounds
of
like
smoking
it'd be
a
fun.
cigar. The glass of wine has been removed from his hand. She's showing a little bit less thigh. Her cleavage is slightly airbrushed out. The hard eyes on the man in the middle in the background, for some reason also removed. The bottle of wine in the bottom left is now perhaps a bottle of orange juice? And if you spot something else, let me know. The card Majigere Panda has removed the frightened family in the background. I get it. Domestic violence isn't exactly something you want in a children's game. The Destiny board combo has been changed from spelling out death to final, yet again removing the concept of death. The pentagram behind Exodia has been replaced by a spell circle instead. The Ankh on Monster Reborn has been turned into whatever this is. Religion? In my Yu-Gi-Oh? Get that Bible and crucifix out of here, and replace it with whatever these are supposed to be. Guns can't look too much like real guns, so they've gone full Egyptian on firearms. Not gonna lie, that's kinda badass. Let's be honest. The anime is just a commercial. It's not really like the manga. Instead, it's more akin to American cartoons of the 80s, like G.I. Joe or Transformers. Cartoons built to sell children toys, whereas Yu-Gi-Oh! Is built to sell cards. And that cardboard crack is addictive. As I've talked about in previous videos, animation in Japan is a different beast. There's plenty of anime that really only exists to tell you a story, to convey emotion, to give you the arc of a character.
I don't think there
rise, their
is.
fall,
I don't think there's
their
a dub that's
successes
not
and their
4Kids
failures,
for
to
Yu-Gi-Oh!
get you invested in the cast and the world. Some anime blurs the line. They have a story to tell. They'll have a wonderful cast and a great world. Yet they obviously have things to sell you. A rule of cool that applies to the characters, and aspects of their show that will sell well as toys, models, figurines, and other things. And of course, there's anime where its entire purpose is to sell you merchandise and toys. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters series falls into that category. Sure, there's nice characters and a fun world, and you move along following these characters through their moments. But all in all, at the end of the day, Yu-Gi-Oh! Sells cards. Lots of cards. And that's primarily what it's meant to do. Even if the intent of the original manga wasn't that, that is quite certainly what Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters is meant to do. It's quite a disconnect between the original manga's intent and the show that we all know. I recall really wanting cards so badly that I drew my own cards and built decks so I could play with my friends. My grandmother Shizuko was from Okayama, Japan, and thanks to her, I was able to get cards quite early for my friends and I. It didn't really matter if I couldn't read the Japanese on the cards because I just wanted to have them so bad. And when cards finally released in the United States, I begged my parents to buy me Kaiba's Blue Eyes deck. Of course, I wanted multiple so I could smash them together to build one deck. I still have the tin they bought me one Christmas, and I keep the Blue Eyes deck in it. To this day, I still collect and play Yu-Gi-Oh! I've got 3 decks of varying power levels, so that if anyone wants to play, I can be a fair match for them. Their commercial worked. I wanted Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. Hot off the heels of collecting Pokemon, I had to have the next big thing. It was a game that looked so fun, and I couldn't help but want to play it. Within a decade of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters airing in the United States, the card game became the best-selling trading card game ever, with over 25 billion cards sold. And within 20 years of the anime being released in the United States, the card game had sold an estimated 35 billion cards, bringing in around 1 trillion yen, or just over $9.5 billion. While it's not competing at the top with Pokemon, in terms of highest-grossing media franchises, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is up there. And on Wikipedia's list of franchises, it's actually right behind Dragon Ball. And it's still pumping out cash to this day. In 2021, Konami had its most profitable year ever, due in large part to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise. The modern digital versions of the card game, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel and Duel Links, have just become a license to print.
Oh, GX and so on? I don't actually know. I haven't really, I know a lot of them have dubs, because I was talking to somebody who was watching all the shows, and he's upset that he wanted to watch 5Ds, but it was only available in dub. But I don't know who did those dubs. Or, when 4Kids went under and stopped doing Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's money. So, of course, we can't have the over-the-top violence of the original manga. We can't even have Season 0 because even that's too much. If they wanted to make money, they had to appeal to a wide audience. And parents aren't going to let their kids watch a cartoon that has brutal violence or sexually explicit content. They're also not going to buy their little ones toys or card games if the cards feature this as well. It's kind of a no-brainer as to why it was all removed for the US market. Just as most things are in the world, it's all driven by money. It's about how to turn the best profit. And suffice to say, looking at the numbers, they figured it out. But it's kind of sad to see what it used to be and what it is now. What it could have been and what it became. Sadly, on July 6th, 2022, Takahashi was found dead. He had passed away on the afternoon of July 4th, assisting in the rescue of others who had been caught in a rip current out at sea. We lost Takahashi as he was trying to be the hero that he had always written about. And as sad as it is, it's nice to know that there are people in the world who don't just write about those doing good things. When the call comes, they'll try to do the right thing themselves. The world lost a great writer, a great creator, but his work is still here. I think it's worth picking up the manga and giving it a read. Go see what Takahashi's story was really like. Watch the characters stand up to the evil people of the world. See as they settle their scores over games rather than combat. I guarantee you it's a vastly different experience than any of the anime that's been made for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise. So, what do you prefer? Do you enjoy the manga more? The original story, a bit gruesome and brutal? Do you prefer Season 0? It sort of follows the manga, but with some changes and it's animated. Or is it more about the card game? And if it is, do you prefer Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters in the original Japanese? Or perhaps you're more inclined to the 4Kids version? Maybe it's nostalgia or something else. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments down below. Hello, and thanks for watching. Sorry this video took a while to come out. These take a little bit of time to make. Obviously I have to watch a series in multiple different versions and different languages. And then sometimes I have to read.
What, did Season 0 not finish that run of the manga? Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, that would have been pretty cool to just have all that. Let's see, what's this next one? Oh, here we go, Dragon Ball Z.
In 1998, I had moved into a new home. With nothing but a small CRT TV to keep me occupied, I flipped through the channels until I found something new, something strange. This was the first time I had ever seen Dragon Ball Z, or anything related to the Dragon Ball franchise. And it was the Ocean dub. Guns, blood, excessive violence, sexual content, vulgar language, references to smoking or alcohol, and even tears were censored in the Ocean dub. The Ocean dub was created by Funimation with the help of Saban? Let's go with Saban Entertainment. And Ocean Productions. Almost every fan of anime knows of Funimation. The company was started by Gen Fukunaga in 1994 to produce and distribute anime and other Japanese entertainment to the United States and international markets. They acquired the rights to Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z in the 90s, but Funimation needed assistance. This is where Saban Entertainment steps in. Saban Entertainment had already established itself by importing Super Sentai and creating the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers out of it. And it wouldn't be long before they brought Digimon to Western markets.
Yeah, I watch a lot of videos.
Ocean Productions, a studio based out of Vancouver, Canada that provided the voice cast for the English broadcast of Dragon Ball Z for the first 67 episodes. Due to this, many fans are quick to point the finger at Ocean Productions. Ocean Productions only supplied the voice acting, and I'll quickly break it down for you here. Toei translates the scripts and hands them off to Funimation. Saban with Funimation look at these scripts and make heavy edits. Funimation okays these scripts and then passes them on to Ocean Productions. There, the voice actors do their work. Saban, meanwhile, having tossed out large portions of the script, now turns towards the music. They remove Shunsuke Kikuchi's music in favor of their own, and the three come together to deliver us the Ocean dub Saban edit of Dragon Ball Z. Let's look at some of the weird censorship and dubbing of Dragon Ball Z in its first form. Home of the "It's over 9,000" meme.
What does the scouter say about his power level? It's over 9,000! What, 9,000?
And a whole host of funny lines meant to cover up the extreme violence of Dragon Ball Z. Raditz throwing the bullet back to the farmer?
So you want some noodles, do you?
Nappa destroys some news helicopters, but don't worry, Tien sees something with his third eye that we can't.
Parachutes.
Look, I can see their parachutes. They're okay.
They'll show the
They're okay.
visceral attack of Nappa breaking Tien's arm off. But don't worry.
So not only did Americans not have the original score, we had two different scores. There's like this one, there's the Ocean dub, and then the Funimation dub. And they both have different music.
Of course, as Nappa fights the good military of Earth, we can't have our good men and women in uniform perishing. And no, there are no parachutes. Those are just fireballs in the sky. There's this one sequence with a brilliant flash of light as his energy attack devastates an entire city, leaving a massive crater. But it's okay, they evacuated that part of the city. That whole swath of city, yeah, they're safe.
That area may have been evacuated, but it'll give him something to think about.
There's also Nappa's rampage as he just destroys buildings, but they've all been evacuated. You know, with the very little to no warning these people were given, they're really fast at evacuating buildings and cities.
A little target practice on some empty buildings and they scatter.
We can't show violence against children, of course, so in the Saban edit, we have Gohan not being smashed across the battlefield, but we smash cut to him flying across the battlefield, implying he was hit. In the very first fight of Dragon Ball Z, Piccolo and Goku team up to defeat Raditz. This is a violent fight, extraordinarily graphic, and in the climax of the fight, Goku sacrifices himself, grappling Raditz, while Piccolo charges his attack, which then drills a hole through both Raditz and Goku, and it is extraordinarily violent and bloody. You can see the holes punched through the two fighters, the pain on Raditz's face. It's a lot to take in for the very first fight, and it really sets the tone for the series. It shows you the stakes are high, the tension in each fight, and how each victory is going to be an insurmountable mountain that must be climbed. Unless you watch the Ocean dub, in which case we've edited all of that out. The beam doesn't go through both of them. Don't worry how Goku got injured, he just did. And of course we won't be showing any of that blood. Weirdly enough, they'll show Piccolo losing his arm, and the blood dripping out of it, but it's okay, we've changed the blood from red to green. One of my favorite weird edits is one you can barely see. In the fight between Goku and Vegeta, the head blows are actually covered up by these little action flashes of light, but immediately after they do two head blows covered up, they show Vegeta smashing Goku's head in. And of course, in the wake of all these violent battles, there are corpses strewn across the battlefields. but only in the Japanese version. No, they're never shown in the ocean dub. We just have to infer that Krillin is pulling the scouter off of Raditz' corpse that we've never seen. When Yamcha defeats the Cybermen, only to have the Cybermen jump back up and blow himself up, killing Yamcha as well? Well, in the original Japanese version, we see Yamcha lying there dead with a bit of Cyberman arm. Whereas in the ocean dub, we're left with a smoldering crater. Which is wild to think about, because you can just buy toys of dead Yamcha these days. There's even a Funko Pop. There's this scene where Dodoria just goes wild, killing Namekians. But in the Saban edits, there is no hole punched in his chest, and that guy on the ground, well, he's still breathing. He's okay. The incredible rematch between Vegeta and Zarbon, where Vegeta punches a hole into Zarbon's stomach, blood pouring out, and he blasts a hole right through him, sending him packing. Well, not in the ocean dub. Vegeta just punches him in the stomach really hard and he goes flying back into the water. He even removed the blood from Vegeta's hand, so it's not that bad. The absolute best is when Vegeta decapitates Goldo. And the way they handle this, they poorly draw his head right back on. And you know, maybe there's a reason there aren't corpses strewn across these battlefields. It could be because you don't die. No, everyone goes to the next dimension.
I'm phasing into another dimension.
Maybe you won't be such a disappointment in the next dimension.
Adversaries which manage to succeed in transporting Yamcha into another dimension.
It's too risky. Quick! I want them all in the next dimension. What? I lied when I said you could go. At least partially lied. For I will let you go to another dimension!
And of course the next dimension has Hell, or as it's known in the ocean dub, the Home for Infinite Losers, HFIL. You know, they just do a little flick of the brush right over the letters and that fixes that mess up. There's also just a lot of weird translations, such as Vegeta referring to Goku's father as a brilliant scientist.
As a matter of fact, it was your genius father who invented this little technique. My father? We ran into some radical weaponry on Rigol 7, and things were looking grim until your father did this. Your father was an average fighter, Kakarot, but he was a brilliant scientist!
Of course, they had to remove adult vices, so cigarettes were edited out, as well as alcohols or things that looked like alcohol being changed to different beverages. As you can see in this clip here, they've drawn over Master Roshi's drink to make it look a lot less like alcohol, and it has this weird floatiness to it as it's drawn over. No longer is it the amber liquid that could be mistaken for alcohol, instead it's blue. Also removed is the ensuing sexual harassment from Master Roshi towards Bulma, and Bulma's violent response to this. More stuff that kids shouldn't experience. Nudities, such as Gohan's bare ass, had to be drawn over and covered. In the next scene, they've pulled the camera in a little closer so you can't see Gohan's butt crack. And in the final act in the epic that is Gohan's bare ass, you can see where they got a little clever, taking some of the damage on Vegeta's pants and just pulling that cloth right on over Gohan's ass. Strangely, they edited Gohan's tears out in the first episode. That one, I'm not really sure of why. It's clearly evident where they drew over Raditz's armor for Gohan's tears. It's got this strange texture and floatiness about it. Of course, in the Western markets, attacks had their names changed to be easier to understand. Makan Kosapo? Well, now that's Special Beam Cannon. Kienzan? Well, that's Destructo Disc.
Time for the Destructo Disc!
It's very easy to understand why they changed the names of the attacks, and I think Dragon Ball Z Abridged by Team 4-Star does a very good job of illustrating this.
Makakasapa! Mikasapa! Oh, to hell with it! Special Beam Cannon!
Is that what you're gonna yell out when you— Oh, God!
While the trio of these companies produced the first 67 episodes of Dragon Ball Z, they were edited down to 53. And with poor ratings, Dragon Ball Z wasn't continued. These heavily edited and censored translations from the 80s and 90s are a big part of why people to this day still hate dubbed versions of anime. A lot of these edits are understandable. I mean, look at the source material. Akira Toriyama's original manga, Dragon Ball, is filled with extraordinarily graphic violence. And that's not gonna fly in Western nations like America or Canada. But at the same time, you can see how fans of the manga would be very disappointed. In the US, animation was a tool to sell toys to children. Cartoons weren't about telling grand stories. They were expressly for kids, and the cartoon violence was heavily toned down. Stories often ended within a single episode, but in Japan, animation and manga are for all ages. They tell stories for mature audiences and weren't afraid to take a story to a darker place. A place where violence, sex, and alcohol were routine. Their plots would span many episodes, meaning you couldn't just skip an episode or two here or there. Western companies were attempting to warp Japanese anime to fit our Western view of media, and we end up with a bastardization of great stories every time this happens. In the here and now, where uncensored anime is commonplace, we accept animation is for all. It's strange to look back and see how people once twisted these amazing stories into unrecognizable messes. Thing is, I watched this all when I was 8, so I didn't think anything of it. I didn't notice the editing or the censorship, or how weird and off some of the dialogue is. And it was the first time I had seen Dragon Ball Z, so I just assumed that's how it was. So you can imagine my surprise when the jarring cut to the Funimation dub happened in episode 53. This was because Funimation ceased working with Saban in 1998, and the censorship of DBZ fell to the wayside. Saban Entertainment was bought by Walt Disney in 2001, and was subsequently sent to the next dimension in 2002. But in 1998, DBZ began airing on a new animation block on Cartoon Network. Toonami.
Dragon Ball Z, full on, today at 5, only Toonami.
With renewed interest, Funimation continued dubbing the series. Without Saban Entertainment, Funimation could no longer afford the cast and services of Ocean Productions. They also lost the music of Saban Entertainment. With Funimation taking full control of production and using their own in-house voice actors, a new dub, the Funimation dub, was born. Funimation picked the series up where Saban and Ocean had left off. In Saban's absence, DBZ went on a run from 1999 to 2003 with little censorship. But they did choose a whole new voice cast and a new musical score. Bruce Faulkner and his team were hired to create a new score, one most Americans know. And it's actually the music I prefer for DBZ, even if production didn't know when to let a scene breathe in silence and instead overpowered it with the heavy tones and synth of Bruce Faulkner. It felt as powerful as the characters to a young me, and it's extremely nostalgic to me every time I hear it, even today as an adult. Initially, the Funimation voice actors played their roles as close to the Ocean dub as possible, but they slowly transformed the characters' voices into their own with a new style. I remember vividly people being confused at the new voices, and some even hating it. To this day, people still watch Dragon Ball Z with the Ocean dub switching over to the Funimation dub, and it's kinda funny to see people's reactions. And it wasn't just voices. The bloodless battles of the Saban Ocean dub, where the loser faded into another dimension, well, they became violent struggles for survival, where losing meant death. And it was odd to see the series evolve so immediately. It's like watching a Pokemon change from a cute little animal to a large violent beast. At this time, you could actually watch episodes uncut on DVD or VHS, as well as catching some late at night on Toonami Midnight Run. And then, in 2004, Funimation gained the distribution rights for the first 2 seasons from Pioneer. At this time, they would redub the episodes from the Saban Ocean era with their new Funimation cast. And again, there are some jarring voice changes. To give an extreme example, here's Jace of the Ginyu Force. He's from Space Birmingham.
Enough of this cat and mouse. Let's show this bloke what the Ginyu Force is all about.
England, not Alabama. Then in the Funimation dub, nope.
I've had enough of this. Think it's time to throw some pain on the Barbie.
Now he's a Space Aussie. With newfound violence and voice actors, one thing didn't change. Funimation's terrible dialogue. Let's listen to Frieza in the Ocean dub talking about the Dragon Balls.
You are certainly on the ball today, Captain Ginyu. If you were a dog, I'd scratch your belly. If you were a cat, I'd give you warm milk until you started to purr. But since you're neither of these, I'll just say thanks for a job well done.
It was my pleasure. You know how much I enjoy serving your Horned Highness.
Having these balls makes me feel something that resembles joy, I think. I want to caress them.
Okay, now let's listen to Frieza in the Funimation dub talking about violence.
Stay with it. Yeehaw! That's it, Buckaroo. Ride 'em, cowboy.
Pop goes the weasel.
In the Ocean dub, some names were changed as well. Muten Roshi to Master Roshi, and Ten Shinhan to Tien Shinhan. Those aren't really that big of a deal, and their name changes are kept in the Funimation dub. However, in the Funimation dub, Mr. Satan is changed to Hercule. And the change is a little strange, because in the United States, we already had a Marvel comic called The Son of Satan. A comic even approved by the Comics Code Authority. which if you like comics, you know is a bit of a joke. If you were a Dragon Ball Z fan in the 90s and 2000s, it was rough. The mix of dubs made continuity confusing and buying the right box set even more difficult. There weren't many full releases, and consistent voice casts, music, or even plots were hard to come by. But years later, something new would come. This is where Dragon Ball Z Kai comes in. A high-definition recut of the series, Dragon Ball Z Kai keeps the English names for most of the cast, but opts for original Japanese names for attacks. They also opted to utilize new music, as well as some of the original Japanese music, as opposed to Bruce Faulconer's score. And to the happiness of fans everywhere, they removed most of the filler. The series no longer felt as padded out. The plot of Kai was actually as close to Akira Toriyama's story as you're going to get. The new musical score by Kenji Yamamoto was dropped. When Toei learned that Yamamoto had actually been plagiarizing most of his music during his tenure at Toei, there had to be some changes made. Surprisingly, episodes with Yamamoto's score can still be found in the wild, some airing in other countries as well as on Cartoon Network by mistake. Thus, old music from the original Dragon Ball Z run was utilized to fill out the score, as well as a few new songs. Some of the violence is actually toned down a little bit in Kai, especially in the Nicktoons version. This Nicktoons version is encroaching upon Saban Edit Ocean Dub levels of censorship. And do you remember that scene I talked about where Master Roshi's drink had to be changed from an alcoholic color to blue? Well, in this one, it's white. Similar to the Ocean dub, the Nicktoons dub has also removed Master Roshi's sexual harassment. Although in the regular Kai, it's actually kept intact.
But you didn't have to go to all that trouble. I mean, you could just give me a sample of those other goodies.
I think a good demonstration of the 4 different approaches to violence is Dodoria's kill of Dende's brother. In both Kai and the original Japanese edit, he's killed by Dodoria and it's shown on screen. In the Nicktoons edit, he's killed off screen, but he is still killed. And in the Ocean dub, it's implied he's escaped.
Your brother may have escaped, but not you.
Meanwhile, both the original Japanese and the uncut Kai edit will show his dead, smoldering body. These 2 different edits of Kai caused confusion, and many began to believe that the Nicktoons version was just how Kai was going to be. Of course, that's not true, but it didn't change the fact that it hurt Kai's image at first. For most people, Kai will likely be the definitive Dragon Ball Z of choice. It cuts down on filler, it's in HD, and it's streamlined with the least amount of inconsistencies. You'll get the same voice cast the whole way through, as well as one running plot. But for many, it's difficult to know which version they prefer. I actually like the Funimation dub in some ways. I may not like the filler, but I love Bruce Faulconer's score. Except for the driving school episode, this is the best filler anyone could have ever asked for. Please keep this in all future iterations. If there happens to be another thing like Kai that master re-edits Dragon Ball Z, keep this fucking episode. I, like many others, also enjoy the Ocean dub cast. While the Saban edits and the dialogue may be terrible, the voice work is actually really well done. And if you're a fan of the Ocean dub, they actually did pick the series back up around episode 108 all the way to episode 276. In Canada, they actually have broadcasting rules that limit non-Canadian programming, and Dragon Ball Z, using an American cast, failed to meet that. However, this Ocean, Westwood, Blue Water dub, whatever you'd like to call it, actually allowed them to meet the bar for this. Unfortunately, it is a little rushed, and some of the dialogue is, well, a bit strange. Overall, I would say that I prefer Funimation's in-house cast and their work much more, but the strange thing is there's no perfect combination of Dragon Ball Z for everyone, as everyone's going to like different aspects of the series. A lot of the magic of Dragon Ball was watching it as a child. Nostalgia is a powerful drug. Dragon Ball Z was an important part of my childhood, and likely the version that you watched when you were a child will heavily influence which version you like as an adult. If you're new to Dragon Ball Z and you're looking for a version to watch, I would probably choose Kai. It's an easy, no-hassle version of the series to consume, and if you're older like me, you might watch the Funimation dub at times to relive some of those nostalgic moments. Which is for you? Are you a purist who prefers the original Japanese version? Maybe you like what you grew up with and want the Ocean to Funimation dub out of nostalgia. Perhaps you want a consistent voice cast and enjoy some of the filler with the Funimation crew the whole way through. Or you power right through the Funimation island to get back to the Ocean cast. You might want to watch it with your young child and seek the Nicktoons version of Kai. Or you like a simple and clean Dragon Ball Z experience with the uncut Kai. Or maybe none of these are for you, and you actually prefer a dub in a completely different language. Oh, wow. It says somebody really cool is watching. I know it may not look like it because I'm not the greatest editor or animator, but I really do put a lot of time and effort into the videos I make, so it really means a lot to me that you watch this. I just wanted to say thanks.
Alright. I think I'm gonna stop now. I just don't want to spoil the... I don't want to spoil a lot of words for the comic. But anyway, yeah, I just gotta put the words in and then I'm done with these. And then I'm done with this chapter, and that's pretty cool. Anyway, but yeah, there's... wait, I'm gonna do something cool. I'll do something real cool. Where is it? Whoa. There she is. She's here. She's queer. Get used to it. You can get one of these. Did you know that? You can super get one of these. Did you know that? Look, she's got her boobs there. You can do that. Wow. You can see your ponytail. I feel like that's a detail I've not really shown off a whole lot. Her ponytail in the back. Look at her little tail. Wow, it's great. Anyway, oh yeah, and her sword. She's got her sword. Anyway, but yeah, you should get one of these at the link below. Scroll down. makeship.com/product/Hachimitsu hyphen jumbo hyphen plush. Go. Yeah. Don't worry about it. She's allowed to have nice things. Yeah, but if you get one of those, then and we hit 200, then they get made and you get to have one. And that's pretty cool. And I want everybody to have one. I think that'd be pretty great. Anyway, that's all for today. I'm Nuggy, and we're going downtown to Pispilio, Illinois. We're going downtown Pispilio, Illinois to stop strangers on the street, ask them questions. Hard questions that'll make them think about life. I don't know. Anyway, have a good night or evening. It's 3 here. It's like 3:30 here p.m. It's fine. Yeah, you guys have a good one. Bye-bye.